It's Ron Reader digs the universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe, and tonight, the Christmas Wars. Yeah, this shit again. It all started back in the 80s, I think, sort of non-aggressive relative to what it became evangelical cultural movement to place stronger emphasis on the religious aspect of Yuletide festivities. Remember, but the Christ back in Christmas. Back in the day, it struck me as a harmless, meaningless, misguided reaction to the Xmas abbreviation, sort of a yay God thing. I didn't really, think anything of it, but at some point in the 90s, after the rise of Fox News, Put the Christ Back in Christmas became the liberal war on Christmas, and they were pretty angry about it too. The network, public figures, even people I knew in real life, all told me seemingly continual that liberals hate Christmas, were doing everything in their power to destroy it, and that we know this because liberals say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. Being liberal, I was like, what the fuck? I love Christmas. And I almost always say Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays, which I always kind of thought of as a sort of marketing thing. Get people across the religious spectrum to buy your consumer goods and not an ideological thing. Okay, we got old Bing Crosby singing Happy Holiday in that movie, but his family-friendly credentials are just impeccable for the most part, except for, the beatings. At any rate, whether I liked it or not, I suddenly found myself an unwilling combatant in the war on Christmas, apparently on the wrong side. I found myself wondering what messages I was sending out when I said Merry Christmas. Was I telling liberals to go fuck themselves? Was I telling crazy evangelicals that I am secretly one of them, like flashing a QAnon hand symbol in a photo or something? It was weird for a few years until I finally said fuck it and just started saying Merry Christmas however it's received. But that war just kept right on going year after year, longer than Vietnam, longer than Afghanistan even. And supposedly we're still in the fight. And after a couple of decades of this, it's even more absurd than it was at the beginning. I don't even really think conservatives think it's a thing anymore. Of course, that didn't stop Bill O'Reilly from claiming victory in the war on Christmas one year and Trump from doing the same thing a few years later. So, they won twice, but for some reason we have to keep on fighting, which makes about as much sense as asserting that Happy Holidays means fuck the baby Jesus. And all this for a holiday that doesn't really have any Christian theological significance or even a connection with Jesus. For starters, Jesus was born in the spring, not during the winter. And actual celebrations come from pagan festivities like the Yule and the Saturnalia, having nothing to do with so-called Judeo-Christian heritage at all. The war on Christmas is the what the fuck that continually generates ever more, ever greater what the fucks. But make no mistake, this isn't simply some frustrating and annoying absurdity pushed by the conservatives every December. Rather, it is based on a deeply malevolent right-wing foundational principle, an idea that connects directly to the January 6th insurrection. The evangelicals believe with bedrock certainty that they are the only true Christians and thus they own Christmas. Because evangelicalism became conservatism's official religion, that attitude somehow transferred over to the political sphere. Conservatives believe with bedrock certainty that they are the only true Americans, and thus they own America. It's the same thing. Self-centered intellectual arrogance manifests both religiously and politically. You can't separate it. The war on Christmas as an idea and the conservative nosedive into fascism are the same thing. You know? You're not really a Christian. You're not really moral. Not really an American. Hell, you're not even really a human being. We can do whatever we want to you. Merry Christmas! Fuck them all. And Merry Christmas. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Merry Christmas!